All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. For those of you who haven't met before, my name is Erin O'Brien. I am a Thermomix consultant and team leader based in Druin in Victoria, but have a wonderful team of consultants all over Victoria and bringing you this virtual demo tonight on behalf of them to show you guys the TM7 in action, our brand new, very exciting TM7. I'd love you guys to pop in the chat box and let me know what's brought you along tonight. Do you have a Thermomix? If so, what model? I saw a couple of you in the registrations have already purchased your TM7, which is very exciting. So hopefully I can show you some new things and pick up some new hints and tips tonight as well. So let us know if you've got it already, if you have ordered one. And perhaps where you're watching from. I always find it very interesting to see where everybody is watching from tonight. Yeah, so for those of you who haven't met, my name is Erin. I have been a Thermomix consultant for about 4 years, I think now. I first joined the team, yeah, about 4 years ago. I had the TM5, the model, 2 models ago now, and I loved everything about it. I was pretty obsessed with it. And then one day decided that I needed, of course, needed to upgrade to the TM6. And I actually joined the team to earn a TM6. So I thought, oh, why not give it a crack? I was going to buy one anyway. And, best case scenario, I'd earn it for free, but worst case, I might get a discount on it. So I was adamant at the time that I was earning it and leaving with my free machine. But here we are 4 years later, still enjoying it and sharing it with everybody, and now supporting a team consultant as well. So that's enough about me. We're going to get right into it tonight because, like I said, I do have a fair bit to show you, but please don't hesitate to pop any questions in the chat box as we are going, and I will answer them at the time, if not, come back to them. But yeah, let's get going. Oops, I'm just gonna... All right, so here is our beautiful new TM7. So welcome to our virtual demo tonight. And of course, as this is what we would call an open virtual demo, I have chosen our menu for the night. But of course, if at any stage you want to see a few different things, learn some more, anything at all, please just let your consultant know. We would love to organise your own virtual or in-home demo. But yeah, I'd love you to pop in the chat box if you don't mind, if you're happy to share what brought you along today. Are you just a bit inquisitive about the TM7? Have you purchased one? You're ready to learn a bit more? Have you just got the TM6 in the run out deal and you're just learning as much as you can about the Thermomix in general? Pop it in the chat box and let me know. We're going to skip on past that because the audio doesn't work perfectly when I've got my headphones in. But I would also love you to pop in the chat box if you're happy to share. When it comes to food and cooking, what is the most important thing to you and your family? So this could be all kinds of things. It could be, time, you'd like quick and easy meals, health, you would like to focus on health, saving money, budgeting. You like being a bit creative in the kitchen. Pop it in the chat box and let me know what is the most important thing to you when it comes to the food you cook and eat. I know for myself, I am a mum of 5 young kids. So as you can imagine, life can be a little bit hectic at times. So for me, it's quick. I like to have dinner on the table with as little hands-on time as possible. And it's really important to me to know what's in the majority of the food that my kids are eating. I'm not going to lie, we're not perfect by any means, but cooking from scratch obviously allows me to cut out some of the additives and preservatives. And Chloe's popped in the chat box that healthy, easy, and quick. Yeah, love that. Chloe, is it much the same for you? You like, do you have kids at home that you're trying to get dinner on the table at, our every mum's favourite time of day? Or are you busy with work? Yeah, what does quick mean for you? Pauline is come along to check out TM7. Yeah, easier and quicker cooking. Absolutely. It's what we all need in our lives, isn't it? Life just seems to get busier and busier. So anything that makes life easier is a good thing. Yes, you know what I'm talking about with hectic and Chloe. Our favourite time of day, dinner time. Maybe not quite. Anyway, so our TM7 is an all-inclusive price of 2,649 and includes everything you see here. So Obviously, the Thermomix itself, a simmering basket of aroma, which is a bit different to the previous models. It's been redesigned and it is 45% larger than previous models, which we'll see tonight. The butterfly whisk spatula, and you do also get 3 months free subscription to Cookie that virtual recipe platform. So there are a few different ways to get a TM7 in your kitchen if it's something you're interested in, including joining the team to earn one. We've got Hum and Afterpay as well, but we'll go into all that in a bit more detail later. But we're going to get cooking. So as you guys are probably aware, I'm going to play a quick little video. You probably won't be able to hear the audio because of my headphones. I just love that the screen, such great graphics on the screen. And just how much you can get rid of with a TM7 in your kitchen. So tonight we are going to showcase we're going to showcase guided cooking through Cookie that virtual recipe platform that we're going to talk a fair bit about. And we are going to showcase a few of the different modes and functions that would see you get rid of some of those appliances. But again, as always, there's only so much we can show you in a virtual. So please reach out to your consultant if there is something you in particular would like to learn more about. All right. We are going to start off tonight by cooking some basic bread rolls. So this is a really great recipe that is super versatile and super easy that I think you guys are going to love. So we're going to go into the recipe. From here on our TM7, it just looks a little bit different to the TM6. We do have our overview. We have a couple of pictures. You can scroll across there. And a little video. Again, I'm obsessed with the screen on the TM7 and just how beautiful it is. I think it's a fresh bread roll with some butter, doesn't it? So ingredients down the bottom as well, which you can skip to share that one in a minute. Preparation steps, tips, and more has your nutrition information, the tags, that kind of thing. But otherwise, we are just going to hit start cooking and get straight into it. So the TM7 also includes automatic lid sensors as well. So if you have one of the previous models, you would be used to tearing the scales all the time to pop ingredients in. But you will notice as I'm cooking tonight on the Thermomix, it'll show me exactly what it wants me to do as well on the screen there. So it'll show me when I need to put the lid on, when I just take it off and that kind of thing. So we're going to place 100 grams of wheat grains in here. And you will just see the scales on the side there. I think I'm going to have a little bit left, but that's okay. And I'm going to tip that off, hit next. And the TM7 kind of scrolls down. So we were always used to kind of nexting across on the TM6 or the TM5. But now it just kind of flows down like we're used to on our phones, on our iPads and things. It's a very natural movement. So again, you can see it's telling me exactly what to do there, but we're going to pop the lid back on the top as well. And now we're going to mill those wheat grains down. So this is going to be quite noisy. So Zoom will mute me out for it. But it's going to go for 1 minute on speed 9. And all we're going to do is press the play button. And that's automatically going to do it for us. So I'll talk to you in a minute because, yeah, Zoom will mute me out for this. Again, guys, if you do have any questions at all while we're cooking, please just pop them in the chat box, whether it's about what we're doing, function, something you randomly think about, anything at all, just pop it in the chat box and I can answer that for you. So you will see that I can just, there's a pause button there. So if at any stage of the cooking, if you've got a previous model, you'll be used to pressing the dial to stop it. But at any stage you want to stop what you're doing, you can just hit pause there. And I'll show you that we have made our own flour with those wheat grains in that minute there. So that's milled that down beautifully. And then we're just going to hit next, and it's just telling us to transfer that flour into a bowl and set aside. So this particular recipe obviously is designed so that I can show you all of the features and functions on the TM7. But if you were making this yourself, you certainly don't have to mill your wheat grains down. You can just use a little extra 100 grams of flour instead. Just bring that on the side. And then just continuing on. So then we're going to hit next again. And into there now we're going to place 300 grams of water. So we don't need to rinse the bowl or anything, obviously. And the other thing you'll see in just a second is that when you hit within a certain amount of what it's requested for you, it will actually automatically tick off your ingredient for you. So it sensed that I've hit the 300 grams. Hopefully the lighting was not too bad that you could see that then. But it has automatically ticked off that 300 grams of water for me. So if I was quicker, I could beat it to it and tick it off myself. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, it will automatically tick weighed ingredients off for you. 2 teaspoons of yeast. We're going to hit next again. And now we're going to put that lid back on. And hit play. So this step, you will see there, it's actually, oh yeah, you can see right. It's got it set for us. So 2 minutes, 37 degrees on speed 1. So this step is just warming up that water and yeast mixture. Sorry, Chloe, I just saw your question. Yes, you can absolutely hotspot off your phone. You can connect to, hotspot. You can also access if you've been online and then you go offline, like if you take it in the caravan and stuff. The recipes that you have saved on your Thermomix will still be available on offline as well. But yes, you can absolutely hotspot it. So this step is just warming that water and yeast mixture up to 37 degrees because that is the optimal temperature for the activation of our yeast. So you will see, like if you've cooked recipes before that are not Thermomix related, or they might not be cookie do ones, you might have noticed that they'll prompt you to use lukewarm water. And this just takes the guesswork out of that, essentially. So you could use lukewarm water to skip this if you wanted to, but this is just going to take that, 2 minutes to warm it up to make sure you get really great results every time to activate that yeast. So you probably can't hear anything on Zoom, but I could pretty much hear nothing as well. The TM7 is significantly quieter than the previous models at low speed. Honestly can't really hear anything at all now. And the other thing at low speed you can do, I don't know if you can see below the countdown here, there's a padlock which is unlocked. Because we're only going at speed 1 now, I can actually take the lid off at any stage. So if I was cooking something, what I'm actually going to do is I've got a fair bit of yeast on the blade there, so I'm just going to flick that off so it warms in the water. If you're cooking something perhaps that you wanted to check, you wanted to taste, see whether you needed to season a bit further or anything at all. When you're cooking at low speed and you've got that unlocked padlock, you can just lift your lid off. The blades will automatically stop straight away. And then when you replace the lid, it will restart automatically as well. We're just going to hit next now that that's done. And into there now, we are going to add 20 grams of olive oil. I'm a bit over on that one. And around 400 grams of baker's flour. Is anyone making their own bread rolls and things at the moment? Those of you with or without a Thermomix? Or what bread products are you making? They might not make rolls, but do you make a loaf of bread? or scrolls. Oh, goodness, this flour is everywhere tonight. Bread products are one of the things that I do make quite a lot of here for the kids' lunch boxes and things. They're so quick and easy. And then pop them in the freezer and they make our mornings much less hectic. So that has automatically ticked that baker's flour off for me. And now we're going to add in a teaspoon of salt. So we're ticking that off and then hitting next. And then we're just going to pop in that flour that we made. So in this step, if you weren't making your own flour, you would just add that extra bit of flour. So now we're going to combine that 6 seconds on speed 6. It's all automatically set for us with guided cooking. So we're just going to hit play. If I actually touched it. And now it's going to knead. So 2 minutes of kneading, again, just hit play and that will automatically start for us. So 2 minutes of kneading in your Thermomix is equivalent to about 20 minutes of hand kneading. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm absolutely not going to spend 20 minutes and even 10, to be honest, minutes hand kneading anything. So that Thermomix obviously then just frees you up to do other things when you've got your hands free. Now, I know in the past and on social media and stuff, there has been a lot of questions. People are concerned about what they think are grooves along the bottom of the Thermomix here. And they're not. They're just like kind of decorative, almost like they're risers in the design of it instead. So we can just wipe off that big mess I've been making tonight. And you'll see later on as we get cooking, there is a light bar on the back of the screen here that reflects onto the bowl, which you can see the green popping up every now and then. And that changes with the temperature of the ingredients. So that's just letting you know how hot or cold the ingredients are. So when you're warming up your main dishes, you will, it will go orange and then red if you've got hot ingredients. Now you will see there is a bit of movement in the TM7 with the kneading mode. That is because the TM6 and the other models, we used a glider board to move them around because your scales are the feet. The TM7 has an inbuilt glider foot, the back one. So that helps you move your Thermomix around safely without damaging your scales, without the need for an extra accessory. But it does give us a little bit more movement on the bench. So what I tell all of my customers is just to always remember, you won't find it with any other things other than the kneading. And I think that on the stone bench top, it does move a bit more as well. But you just remember that your Thermomix needs you when it's kneading. So just always stay close by so you can move it back towards the middle of the bench if you need to. So yeah. So that is done. And there is our beautifully kneaded bread. So if we keep on nexting through, it'll tell us to wrap that dough in a silicone bread mat or in a bowl and cover it with a plastic wrap or kitchen towel. And then it's asking us to set or to leave it to rise till it's doubled in size, or about 30 minutes. So this step actually allows us to set a timer as well, so which is great, especially if, obviously tonight. I'm not going to get as distracted, but as we all know, at that time of night, again, with kids or anything else that's happening in your life, it's very easy to forget about your dough. So you can just set a timer there and you can continue cooking something else, which is what we're about to do. And that will just tick away in the background. And then we're lining the baking tray. We'll watch this now because it'll be easier than when we're cooking our made. But then we've got lots of videos as well, built-in videos on our Thermomix that will show exactly what it wants you to do. So obviously, if you're feeling confident with rolling rolls and making all those things, then you absolutely do not have to watch this. But they're little tutorials that are handy if, perhaps whatever you're making is something you're not perfectly comfortable or confident with. So it's just going to show us how you can divide out your dough and then roll out your rolls as well. Perfect. So then again, we can scroll on if we wanted to, but we are going to leave that there and we're going to get our main started. I'm just going to move that back for a second. Pop our dough on a bread mat. So you can pick up the bread mats, our silicone bread mats. They're amazing and so handy if you do make breads and doughs and things as a host reward. So if you've invited a couple of guests along tonight or you are hosting one of your own demos at any stage, you can pick up one of these host rewards. Looking for my spatula there, it was right in front of me the whole time. One of the other really cool features that they have designed for us in the TM7 is that the bottom of our spatula can be used on the base of the blade. Pop it on there and twist it back and forth, and it will just release that dough off the blades. I feel like they've just thought of all this, the little simple things that make life easier this time. So there we go. You can use the turbo function if you wanted to and flick that last little bit of bread off the blades as well. I'm not going to bother tonight. And then we're going to wrap that up and pop it aside for the rest of that 30 minutes. Just bear with me for just a second. I'm just going to give my bowl a rinse so we can start our main. No, Chloe, no different attachments at all for kneading. It's just the mode will be automatically selected for you. So if you're in guided cooking, it will automatically select which is cookie dough, obviously, automatically select the kneading mode for you, and the blades will do their thing, moving back and forth and kneading that dough. Also, please don't apologise. Ask all the questions. That's what these demos are great for. Great way to learn all you can learn. So our TM7 bowl set comes apart a bit differently, or very differently actually, to the TM6. So our actual bowl sits in the black casing, which is an insulated casing, and then can come out to be washed. So the black casing itself is literally just the case, so which very rarely needs washing, to be honest. You give it a wipe down because it doesn't actually get dirty. And then you're just lining up the black strip with your handle. So pop that in there. And then just popping your blades through the hole in the middle. And then you have the lever on the side, which you are just pushing across to lock that all together. Now your blades won't come out. Right, move that bread out of the way. I'll just quickly give my the other rinse as well. Looking forward to getting a second bowl. Hopefully, they're not too far away, but unfortunately not available just yet. And if you've ever thought about becoming a consultant, these little things are the perks of joining the team, because when the bowls come out, we will obviously we will get the chance to earn them first as well, which is great. Okay, let's keep moving. Just going to keep on going. So yeah, have a little think about what breads and doughs and things you could make with your ceramics, or you are making, or you're buying at the moment, which you could make. You know, if you're buying things like cheese and bacon rolls, brioche rolls, wraps, even pizzas and that kind of thing, your kneading mode of your TM7 or of your Thermomix can make a huge difference and be a great money saver there. All right, we are going to do the coconut chicken curry tonight. For those of you who haven't seen the TM7 in action before, it is a little bit different to the previous models. Making this recipe with the TM7. And it also uses the high heat, which is available on the TM6, but is available now manually as well on the TM7, which is a great update that I think we're all loving too. But we're going to get cooking. So we're doing the creamy coconut chicken curry. And again, like before, we can scroll down, check everything there, but let's just start cooking straight away. Now, this is a good one to show you guys as well. When I hit start cooking, it's just telling us that the maximum number of 1 recipe is reached. So it means that I didn't finish that previous recipe. I didn't go all the way to the end. And that's no problem. The easiest way we can do that is we pull down from the top, which opens our cooking center. And we're just going to press the cross on that bread recipe, and that will cancel that off for us. And now we can start. All right, into our bowl now, we are going to place 350 grams even of cauliflower. Now I am doing less because we're making cauliflower rice with this recipe. And if I'm being very honest, my children won't eat cauliflower rice. So I just do a bit less for this recipe. And I'll make some normal rice for them to have tomorrow. So we're going to next that, and now we're going to give it a quick chop. So it's got 5 seconds on speed 5. It's actually got reverse activated as well. Because the reverse will kind of chop it without like absolutely annihilating it. Anyone like cauliflower rice or buying it now? Are you making it yourself? I never used to have it really much until I joined the team, actually, and I made it with this recipe. But it's so beautiful and lovely and fresh. I'm just going to sit at the top so I can show you. But it does tell us, I'm so used to making this recipe that I know what the next step, but it's telling us to transfer that into the varoma and set aside. So this is the varoma dish for our TM7. It is, like I said, a different shape to previous. And I'm just going to pop that in there. I'm going to show you now while I've got it in a good position, but then we're going to move it around. And we're just going to make sure for when we cook it afterwards, it does prompt you to do this later, but I'm showing you now while it's easy to see. Are some little holes to make sure the steam can circulate and cook that. Oh, excuse me. All right, so pop the bowl back on the top. And we're going to hit next again. And now it's just prompting us to do another lot of cauliflower. We don't want to add too much to the bowl at once because then we won't get that nice even chop. So we just do it in 2 different steps just to make sure, that it's evenly chopped and perfect. But I'm just going to skip this one because I, again, don't want too much cauliflower rice that we're not going to eat. So I'm just going to hit skip. Next. Now, this one also tells us to clean and dry the mixing bowl. I honestly don't bother with this recipe because a little bit of cauliflower for our curry is not going to hurt us by any means. Actually tastes all right. So into there now, we are going to place 10 to 15 grams of fresh ginger. So I've got that there. And then 1 clove of garlic. I've got 2 because they're in the middle. And then 1 to 2 fresh, excuse me, long green chilies. We don't do spicy well in this house at all. So I just skip it and leave it out. Oh, sorry, guys. But you can just do whatever suits you. Guided cooking is always just a guide. Like I said, we don't do spicy, so I leave it out of everything. If you like it really spicy, you can add in more. You can add in different chilies, whatever you like. So 3 seconds on speed 7. Oh, sorry, I've got a scratch in my throat that's triggered me there. Okay, we're going to press next. We're not going to scrape down the sides. We just don't scrape down the sides because, so, oh, sorry guys, I'm just going to mute myself. Oh, sorry. Coming off the back of a bit nasty virus, and it's still obviously getting me a little bit. So yeah, we don't scrape down the sides because if you've got the chili in there, you actually don't want it hitting the base as much on the next step because it will burn, and because we use the high heat. So we just leave it flipped up around the sides, which is perfect. But into there now, we're popping, it says 1 to 200 grams of brown onion cut into wedges. For this one, I just do 1 full onion, whatever that works out to be. If it's a big onion, great. If it's not, doesn't matter. I'm not going to kind of worry about cutting an extra half. And then 20 grams of olive oil. And again, you just tick that off and then press next. And now we are, I'll pop that on and then I'll keep talking. Sauteing that. So you will see the sizzle symbol there. That is our high heat mode, or what we are calling the browning mode on our Team 7. So how the browning mode works is it mimics what your frying pan essentially. So it heats up, browns or sautés the ingredients in there, and then only occasionally do the blades turn. So at the moment, you won't be able to hear it, unfortunately, through Zoom. But at the moment, it sizzles up. The heat gets up to about 160 degrees, which you might be able to see there. Warms up, sizzles away, browning that onion, if you had a bit of chili, garlic, ginger in there. And then occasionally we'll hear the blades turn. So yeah, it's kind of, yeah, essentially mimicking your frying pan, except you are hands-free to do anything and everything else that you might be doing at this time of day. So you can, if you wanted to, while this is cooking, scroll down and check your next steps to make sure you've got everything ready for it. So you can get out your ingredients. What I would do if I'm cooking this at home is use this 4 minutes to then chop up my chicken for the next step. So that's all ready to go. And yeah, I've got as little hands-on time as possible. So for the next couple of steps, I do have made a few other ingredients. So the next step, we're adding in tandoori paste, which I had run out of and whipped some up before we started. And the great thing about making your own paste and things like that is much the same, is that you can control what ingredients are in there. Like I said, we don't do spicy at all. And so I just leave out the chili as, again, in the tandoori paste. So it's a very mild paste that I can use. In this recipe, I can use for like tandoori chicken skewers, you know, nice tandoori shredded chicken, that kind of thing. But yeah, I can make it to suit my family, and you could do the same if you were making it. And I've made some almond meal as well. So like we saw with the milling of those wheat grains at the start, you do have the ability to make so many different ingredients with all of the different modes and functions that you might otherwise buy. So again, saving yourself money in the long run. But otherwise, yeah, you can continue to scroll down if you wanted to. And if you get all the way to the bottom, for example, you don't have to scroll back up. You can just go back to current step and it will take you there as well. And you can see that our timer for our bread is still going up the top as well. We'll get that going in a minute. Anyone have any questions so far? Like I said, please don't hesitate to pop them in the chat box. Anyone make curries and different things at the moment? What's your favourite curry? Do you like spicy? Let me know. Is spicy your thing, or are you a bit like me and my family and a bit fragile with your chilies? Pop into the chat box and let me know. Butter chicken is the other favourite one in our house. Golly, the wind is crazy here tonight. I don't know where you guys are, but it's hectic. I don't know if you can hear it out there. But yes, we love a butter chicken as well, which we can, again, wind the spice right. Absolutely no extra accessories, Chloe, with any, or other than like the bread mat that we're using to wrap the dough in. But as far as the actual Thermomix itself, you really do get everything you need with your Thermomix. The main ones are your simmering basket and your varoma, which we're using tonight. The TM7 has been designed slightly differently, so we don't have the splash guard. You might have noticed now for the high heat mode, it's just no longer required. So the lid and the cap are designed differently, so we don't need to worry about that. But absolutely, I have not used any other than wrapping the dough in the bread mat. I haven't used anything that's not standard. Okay. So I'll show you, but I think I'm going to hog up the camera a bit too much. So they are sauteed and browned a bit in there. So then we are going to add 90 grams of tandoori paste, which again, I'm going to take this one off to show you. But that is the tandoori paste I have whipped up before we started. So that will make a big jar of it. And that just keeps beautifully in the fridge for quite a while. So 90 grams of that. I'm not going to lie, I nearly forgot to make this tonight. I was getting ready and I thought, then I was getting all my ingredients out and I thought, oh no, the tandoori paste. But that's how quick and easy it is to make as well. Just pop it all in and blend it together. 30 grams of tomato paste. If you wanted to, you had some spare tomatoes at that time for you. I think tomato paste is also something you can make with your Thermomix. 100 grams of water. It's going to need a little bit more there. $20 grams of almond meal. So again, super easy to make with your Thermomix. You just throw your almonds in and blend them up. And then it has 500 grams of skinless, boneless chicken thighs cut into pieces. I'm just using chicken breast today, which is perfectly fine. The only thing you need to remember is just to cut it a little bit bigger if you're going to use chicken breast. So it does break up a little bit more when you're cooking things like curries and this over a little bit of time. So just cut them bigger and it will work perfectly. And then a teaspoon of salt. Next, we're going to pop the lid on. We're just going to take the cap off, or the measuring, what used to be the measuring cup. So it's just a cap. And then we're popping the varoma on the top. I'm just going to move you up slightly, sorry. So that, again, is that steaming attachment. If we had, if we had more cauliflower rice, we can add in the varoma tray as well. So if we did the full amount of cauliflower rice, you would want to just spread it out so it did cook nice and evenly. So you would pop, half on the varoma tray and sit that in the top as well. If you wanted to, you could also add some extra veggies. So if I was cooking this tonight, I could add some, broccoli or peas and corn, beans, whatever I wanted into the tray of the varoma while I'm already creating steam with it as well. So popping that on, and now it's just going to cook for us. So 8 minutes. This is our varoma. It's got a picture of our varoma because it's cooking with the steaming there, and on speed 1. So we're going to cook that. And while that's cooking, let's get our rolls going. I'm just going to tilt that and move it back for a minute. So the only thing you want to make sure when you're using your bread mats is that you don't use any knives or sharp objects on them, because you will ruin them by doing that. And then the recipe says, I think, make this one into 8. Just do it whatever you want. However big you want your rolls or little you want your rolls, it's perfectly fine. I'm just going to do kind of smaller dinner size rolls. And then I do roll my rolls slightly different to how they showed us on the video, which again is fine. Let's just start that. Let's get them on quickly because otherwise I don't want to keep you here too long. So I just use the palm of my non-dominant hand to kind of roll them around, and the fingers of my other one to tuck. So the video before showed us just an upside down tuck, but it's the same kind of thing. I just keep rolling it until I get a nice round roll shape. So let's do a couple on there. So it just really depends what you're adding onto the top. So I was just reading the other comments. It just depends what veggies you're adding onto. Obviously, like some cook faster than others. Yeah, I just keep an eye on it, to be honest. Like if I'm cooking something like carrots, that takes a little bit longer, and I would put it in for the full 8 minutes. It might even need a little bit longer than that. Broccoli would be perfect in this amount of time. Peas and corn would too. But yeah, never hesitate, like especially if you're using a guided cooking recipe, to add in like make the most of the steam you're creating and add in a couple more veggies or different things, especially if you you might have like a depending on what else you're going to cook for dinner for the week, or if your little ones might eat something as well. I'm just going to pop those ones in the oven for now. So if I go back out of this recipe now, all the way to my home screen, and I go back to my bread roll recipe, I can scroll down, go to the preparation, and read the instructions. So, again, because we're cooking something else, so I just want to double check it. So it says I'm going to put it on and then I'll keep talking, just because I'm keep wary of the time. So it says to divide them, shape them into rolls, place in a cold oven, set temperature to 200 degrees, and bake until, well, it says 25 to 30 minutes. Mine are small, so they won't take that long. And that your bread should sound hollow when tapped underneath. So the reason we're putting them in the cold oven is because that's where they're going to do their second proof. So depending on what recipe you're using to cook your breads and doughs, you'll have that first initial resting time, proofing time. And then you might often have a second proof as well. So yeah, if you might, the recipe might tell you to proof it on the bench or, wrap it, proof it that way. But yeah, this particular recipe just does a slow proof as the oven heats up with it as well, which is fun. Right, so I'm going to put the rest of that aside for the time being. Over here. So yeah, I'm just tilting it up to move it because that, like I said earlier, that back foot on it. My chicken. Making a good mess tonight. The back foot of the TM7 is a glider foot. So we can safely move that without risking damage to the scales. So yeah, it negates the need to have the glider board, which many of us had to keep our TM6 or TM5 safe. Again, it really just depends on the size of the carrots and the shape of them. Maybe 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. Just depends how I've cut them, to be honest. Just plugging my phone in so that doesn't go flat on us. All right, so like I said before, I'm going to go back in so I can show you from the start. But yeah, if we're cooking this time, like it's got 2 minutes 30 left on the steaming, we can scroll down if we wanted to. Otherwise, we can go to the home screen. So we can go back out and play with it. So mix nearly in full while we're cooking. So we have that cooking center that I showed you before. So if we pull down from the very top of the screen, you will see creamy coconut chicken curry. It tells us what step we're up to, and it tells us what it's doing at the moment. So it's got 2 minutes of steaming at speed 1 that's got left. And then our timer for our bread rolls, which obviously to keep to time tonight, I've just ignored, but that is there as well. So we can stop that if we want to. So we also, have the ability to set the timer from here. You can access your scales and you can access the pre-clean mode as well from there. But this is a home screen of your TM7. So when you turn your Thermomix on, this is what you will see, and it is completely customizable. Is completely customizable. So there are a few different ways you can set it. I have mine set to my weekly planner, so what I have planned out for the week. But if you're not a meal planner, you can set it in a couple of different ways. You can have it set to, find some daily inspiration. You can just have it set to show you basic settings, all kinds of different things. So yeah, you will see the recipes that I've planned out for today. If I go into my week, I actually haven't planned out the whole week yet. I tend to plan some meals and then change. I plan the meals we're having for the week and then change around what day, depending on what I feel like. But yes, you will see our creamy coconut chicken curry, our basic bread rolls. And earlier today, I made fresh pasta dough to make my own pasta for our lasagna tonight, which was absolutely amazing. And the tandoori paste that I made before we started. But scrolling down the side, you have a few different options. So from the home screen, we can scroll down. You can see my bookmarked recipe, which are recipes that I use quite frequently. I've got my recently cooked there, and then some different inspiration ideas from Cookie-Doo. So some daily recipes, it's giving me carb-conscious cooking. Maybe it thinks, knows that I need to cut back on the carbs we eat there. And then down the bottom, you have that edit home screen if you want to bring up a different view. I'll just keep going with dinner and then I'll show you the rest. So that is finished. We're going to hit next. So now it's just telling us to give the cauliflower a quick stir to make sure it's cooking evenly. And then we've just got 4 more minutes of that. So I'll go back to what I was showing you. So then we've got our search bar. So this brings up Cookie-Doo search, and this looks exactly, or pretty much the same as how it would look on your app, on your phone, your Cookie-Doo app, or your computer as well. So you've got the global search bar at the top, and then you've got a few different just random inspiration that comes up automatically. You can also search by collections, which are kind of all the recipe books. And you do also, it's much easier to use. I'm not sure of those of you, again, with the TM6, but I don't know about you, but I found searching on the cookie doos on the TM6 screen a little bit clunky at times. And you didn't really, it wasn't easy to add in any filters or anything, but now you can do it all perfectly. It's almost just like using an iPad on here, really. So you can cut down your recipe search by categories, by time. You know, if you are looking for quick meals for, you know, the nights you've got kids sport or that kind of thing, you can click time and you can select filters of total time, preparation, like hands-on time, that kind of thing. Portion sizes. You can also search for specific ingredients. You know, if you've got something in the fridge that you want to use that, you can do that, or exclude ingredients as well. But yeah, otherwise you can just have a bit of a play with that. And then, sorry, the next one is my folders. So these are my recently cooked recipes. Again, like I said, today we made the lasagna and the pasta. Last night we had sweet and sour pork for dinner, which is also amazing if you haven't tried that one. And I made the kids porridge for dinner, but you can see all of the different things that I have been making. Again, you can see my bookmarks at the top, my recipe lists. So in Cookidoo, you can create your own recipe lists, which are like folders of whatever you want to make. So I have quite a few different ones set. There's barbecue, baking, Christmas, cocktails, desserts, laid cooking, quick meals, that kind of thing. But you can have them however you want. Your collections. And then if you have any specific cookbooks that you wanted to save, you can save them there. And you also have the ability to import recipes. So you can either import recipes from the recipe community or you can manually import your own recipes as well. And save the settings so that they're on the Mix to Use guided cooking for as well. And so these are the recipes that I have created or imported. If we continue down the side now, the blade symbol brings up all of our different modes and functions. So you will see the manual mode. So if you are looking to just cook a manual recipe with our time, temperature, and speed options, which we are used to, you can find that there. You can find the pre-clean for doing your own little cleaning, the dough mode, the browning one, which is what we're all excited. So that is the high heat mode that you can now use manually. Open cooking, which we are about to see as well. So we can cook with the lid off with our TM7. Rice cooker, slow cooking, fermentation, all of the other ones are all there. And these will be continued to be added to as well. So the great thing with this smart device is that new modes, new software updates, all these different things are going to be available to us all the time. So it will update like your mobile phone would. And when new updates are available, you'll switch on, it will prompt you whether you want to do it then or later. And then, yeah, depending on what the update involves, you might find a new mode, a new function. Could just be a little software update as well. Sorry. But that, yeah, is being added to all of the time. And then the last one is for just more settings, your profile. And there are some little tutorials you can watch in there as well. But back to our recipe. That step is now finished and our cauliflower rice is done. So I'm just going to pop it up again. I'm going to tilt that back. So one thing to always remember with your varoma, obviously it's very hot, so open it away from yourself so that you don't burn yourself. And then the top of your varoma, the lid of it, is the perfect size and design shape so that, I'm not enough space here, that your varoma dish sits perfectly on the top so that you don't make a mess all over your bench with condensation. So I'm going to pop that to the side for a minute. And then we're just going to finish the last step and then we're all done. We're going to take our lid off. Smells amazing. And then we are going to add 90 grams of coconut cream. Next, then it's just prompting us to give it a little stir with our spatula. Next again, and now it's telling us to cook without the lid for 3 minutes. So we're just going to hit play, and that is going to start cooking all by itself there. So it's got obviously set for 100 degrees, and this little symbol is our open cooking mode. I'm not sure how well you can see that. So yeah, it's just cooking without the lid. The blades don't actually turn. So you don't have to worry about that from that safety point of view. So it's all just kind of mimicking a saucepan just by adding that little bit of coconut cream in there, and it will bubble away and cook, which is very cool. Any questions about that? Open cooking has been a big favourite of ours for a little while now. Good question, Chloe. I think this recipe is, let me go back to it. I think this one is 6. So, yeah, this one is 6 portions. Some recipes, not this one in particular, but some recipes will also allow us to scale it. So you will, so all cookie dough recipes are triple tested. And we do have the recipe scaling feature now. So any recipes that have triple tested variations of quantity, it will allow you in this section here to click it and change the quantity. So obviously, as you get more confident with your Thermomix, you can change the quantities around a little bit. I would often add a bit more chicken to this because it is quite saucy, and then that would be enough to feed my family of 7. But I know that because I'm used to it. But yeah, other recipes will have the triple tested options as well. I am just going to, hopefully don't make you motion sick with this, but I'm just going to lift my stand up to show you how that is just bubbling away without the lid, which is very fun. All right, my rolls are just about finished too. Then we're all done. So while that's doing its thing, I'm just going to go back to my little thing here. So I have showed you the cooking centre. So we've talked a little bit about Cookie Doo tonight. There are so many different features to Cookie Doo. Like I've talked about, you can use the meal planning function. You can search. You can then create your own shopping list. You can even order your groceries through Woolworths online with Cookie Doo. But if you are interested in potentially getting a Thermomix, but you're really not sure about whether there would be enough recipes to suit you and your family, you can sign up and do a 30-day free trial at any stage and have a good play with Cookie Doo. Make sure there are recipes that you feel would suit you, that you would enjoy and cook. So you can do that anytime. So that is finished. I'm going to keep talking as I serve it up. So you can do that anytime through cookiedoo.com.au. You can sign up and do a 30-day free trial. Like I mentioned earlier, you do get 3 months free Cookie Doo subscription with your TN7. And then it is $89 a year. So that includes all of the recipes, over 90,000 recipes from all over the world. But it also includes any software updates and new modes that are released as well. So like I have said a few times throughout the demo tonight, so I'm just going to pop some cauliflower rice in our bowl. If you are interested in hosting your own demo at any stage, we would absolutely love to help you with that. It can be virtual, it can be in person. It's a great way to learn more, to make sure you get the most out of your Thermomix investment. You can collect all the host rewards if you wanted to, and yeah, really learn as much as you can. Our team do run lots of virtual cooking classes as well as demos as well. So every month, see that beautiful curry there, that nice chicken. Every month we have different themed classes that you are very welcome to join. We would love to see you at those. Next month, we're actually, the winter edition of our new Thermomix Everyday magazine is launching 26th. What day is that? Friday? This week. And so our next class will feature some of the recipes from that, which will be very exciting. But yeah, essentially, when you purchase your Thermomix through your consultant, they are there to support you with whatever you need. So they're there from the start to help you with unboxing, getting set up with your Thermomix, cooking a stock paste together. and then doing your delivery demo. So inviting a couple of friends around, going through your Thermomix and getting cooking with it straight away and grabbing a host tour. And look at those rolls. And then ongoing support as well is really important too. So your consultant can do, like we said, as many demos as you want. You can come to our classes and just be there to help and support you as you need. Sorry, I'm just grabbing out a little bit. So there are our roles. So if you are interested in getting a TM7 in your kitchen, there are a few different ways to do it. Like I mentioned, you can join the team and earn your Thermomix. You kind of earn and learn at the same time. You will get your Thermomix straight away as well. You don't have to wait like everybody else, which is an option that appeals to a lot of people. So you can, yes, join the team, earn your TM7 with 6 sales in your first 60 days as a consultant, and then yeah, stay on or not stay on. It's completely up to you. You're not locked in or obliged to stay by any means. We do also have Hum as a finance option and Afterpay as well as that one-off payment option. At the moment, dispatch for our TM7 is up to a September delivery. So if you are interested, it's being pushed out every couple of weeks at this stage due to its popularity. So if you are interested in it, again, please chat to your consultant because if you want to lock in that pre-Christmas delivery, it's kind of creeping up on us very quickly now. You can do so by ordering your TM7 at the moment. But that is about it from me tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just going to pop over to this one as well. So tonight we have made that creamy coconut chicken curry with cauliflower rice and those beautiful fresh bread rolls that are going to be lovely for dinner tomorrow night. I'll show you. It's going to be a bit hot. Hopefully I don't burn myself. But they're beautiful fresh rolls that will be lovely with some nice butter melted through them, I'm sure. In under an hour, with obviously lots of talking, you would certainly get these dishes done probably in half an hour realistically at home without me talking away and just with adding on a bit of proofing time for your bread. But that is all from me tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have got something out of tonight. I hope you've learned something new. Your consultant will reach out to you in the next day or so to ask you if you've got any questions. I'm happy to go through a bit of information on joining the team if anybody wants to stay on for that. But otherwise, again, thank you for joining me. If you do want to stay on for some information about joining the team, just pop it in the chat box so I know. But yes, thank you for joining me and hope to see you at another virtual very soon.